Tyrell Sloan is a Dapto boy.
We play every week for our mates,
our families,
and our fans.
But in ANZAC round, we play for our troops.
When we take to the field in ANZAC round, it's something special.
We honour the ANZAC spirit of loyalty,
selflessness, courage and mateship.
And commemorate the hundreds and thousands of Australians and New Zealanders
who have died in wars, conflicts and peacekeeping operations.
It's always a huge honour to play during ANZAC round.
Because it's our chance to pay tribute and say thank you
to all the Australian and New Zealand service personnel
who have served our nations for over a century.
And to those still serving across the globe.
You are all in our thoughts this week.
On behalf of the whole rugby league community, we thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody, I hope you jump along. God wants to restore. God wants to restore. Big teams are rocky, keeps us free. He often gets his say. And just like he knows the girls will never be Dragon's way. Never be Dragon's way. The Mad Dragon. Coco, just the star, Sandra and the other crew, here are the Mad Dragon podcast.
Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Mad Dragons podcast for tonight. Proudly sponsored by Complete Warehouse Solutions. Complete House Warehouse Solutions are your Sydney's warehouse relocation, refurbishment, and make good specialists. Go see Jeff and the team at 6 Commerce Drive, Lake Illawarra. Contact them on 0417 223 409 or 4257 1930. Tonight, we preview the biggest game of the regular season, our annual ANZAC Day clash against the Sydney Roosters at Allianz Stadium. The Dragons are extremely honoured to be playing on a special day of remembrance for all those men and women who fought so very hard for our country in war. For that, we are truly lucky, because without what they did, we would not be here today. So I'll throw to the panel. What does ANZAC Day mean to you? I'll start with you, Donnie.
It's a big one.
Yeah, well, mate, as an ex-serviceman myself, it's always been a day that's held a special place in my heart, and I think it's about more than just footy, and I love getting up in the morning, going out to the dawn service and paying me respects, and having a few beers with some of the old boys and catching up with some old mates that I served with, and it's always good to catch up and find out what they're doing. But I think it's an important day that we need to keep in the calendar, mate.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely. I like to honour it with a special day. I go to the dawn service at my local RSL. It starts at 4:30 in the morning. Then I watch the game later on in the day. Really mark the occasion, and that's something I do every year, and I will continue to do it while I still can. Big T, what are your thoughts on what does ANZAC Day mean to you?
Well, ex-serviceman here too. I've done 4 years in Ordnance, and I've done plenty of mornings out at Camden, doing the door service, doing the cenotaph. It was enjoyment. The people that I had to work with out there, they were the best. Remembering the past and celebrating the day or remembering the day. Yeah, so great day. Be out there later on, have a couple of 2-ups and respect the day. Yeah.
Hasman, anything for you? What any significant thing for you about Anzac Day?
Well, look, it's a huge day, not just for the rugby league community, but just the community at large. Just being able to sort of commemorate the day and sort of remember all the servicemen and women who did make the ultimate sacrifice so that we could enjoy the freedoms that we enjoy today. So it's a massive day, and
Yep. No worries. Thanks for that, Hasman. So in honour of the special occasion, we'll take a look at some of the memorable Anzac Day clashes over the years. Then after that, we'll get Hasman to run us through our team lineup this week.
Since 2002, the Roosters and the Dragons have contested the ANZAC Day Cup. And on a day to honour those who have made the ultimate sacrifice, the two proud Sydney clubs have provided some memorable performances that rise up to the atmosphere and significance of the occasion. Ahead of the 2023 ANZAC Day matchup, we take a look at 5 of the most unforgettable games on a day to remember. In 2004, aged 32 and playing his last year of NRL, veteran Brad Fittler scored a match-defining late try.
Goes right through, puts on the step again. Oh, go, Freddie. That was magnificent stuff. Well, age shall not weary them. Freddie Fittler scores on Anzac Day. Brilliant try. Off the big left, up and again. And over the score. What an appropriate try.
His trademark step proving as evasive as ever. Fittler and the Roosters clinching an 11-8 victory. The following year was a seesawing and often fiery contest.
And Ben Hornby is Walker. Nagama's lost it, Cross has lost it, but he got it back and got it down. It's on. It's been coming.
Dragons halfback Matthew Head ultimately proving the difference.
Here's a chance. Here's a big chance. Cooper, he's got best on his outside, and he holds it. Does he get it down?
Setting up a try and landing a sideline conversion to reclaim the ANZAC trophy for St George Illawarra.
Surely they're on their feet, the Dragons fans. They count down the clock, and it's kicked it into touch, and that will be full time. A memorable win for the St George Illawarra Dragons. They have beaten the Sydney Roosters by 26 points to 24.
Plenty of stars were on show in the 2015 ANZAC Day game in front of a packed Sydney football stadium. But it was the weather that was about to steal the day's thunder.
We just had a huge bolt of lightning strike very, very close to our ground.
Live at Allianz Stadium where hail, quite sizable hail.
As fans retreated while hail rained down, the most aptly named player on the field crossed for a try.
Mitch Rayner's over to score.
Well, if it's appropriate for anyone to score, it's Mitch Rain.
Officials forced to bring the match to a halt soon after.
Gerard Sutton says we're breaking. He's taking the players from the field. So there it is.
For the Dragons faithful that persisted through the storm, there was a silver lining. Skies cleared as they celebrated a 14-12 win.
5 seconds to go. The Dragons have won it.
In 2017, Roosters halfback Mitchell Pearce had been on a field goal kicking drought. However, that was all to change in a famous Golden Point ANZAC Day finish.
Off the 20-metre line almost, here comes the kick. Mitchell's got it away. And he Roosters by a point in front of a record crowd for the ANZAC Day game here.
As far as thrilling ANZAC Day finishes go, 2012 remains hard to surpass. Roosters left in disbelief in the final 5 minutes.
And they will! Pryor for the line, and the Dragons, there is life!
With seconds remaining in the crowd on the edge of their seat, Michael Wayman found Ben Cray for a famous match-winning ANZAC Day try.
Gray scores for the Dragons, and they've done it again on ANZAC Day.
Unbelievable! That is unbelievable stuff. The stadium erupts, the Dragons bench go up. Look at the red and white.
On a day to reflect on our history, we wait to see who will create the next memorable ANZAC Day Cup moment in 2023.
In this case, 2024. Okay, so I'll bring in Hasman and he can run us through the team lineup for this week. So Hasman, run us through the Dragons team to take on the Roosters on ANZAC Day.
Yep, I would absolutely love to. So 2024 ANZAC Day, Dragons v Roosters. Here's how the Dragons will line up. So it's basically an unchanged 17 from what we saw last week. Tyrell Slane at fullback, Christian Turpolotto and Michaeli Ravalawa on the wings. Centres are Moses Sully and Zach Lomax. Kyle Flanagan's 5'8". Ben Hunt is halfback and captain. The front row is Frankie Molo, Hame Sele, Jacob Little's a hooker. Second row is Raymond Faitalamara and Jaden Sewer. Tom Eisenhuth, the absolute tackling machine, is at lock forward. And on the bench, we've got the new boy, Farmanu Brown, Blake Laurie, Jack DeBellin, and Ben Murdoch-Masella. On the extended bench, Mickey Molo, Jack Bird, Toby Couchman, William Fafita, and Jesse Marshke. And the coach is Shane Flanagan.
And thank you, Hasman. Now we talked about our top side. We'll have a look at our side. Now we'll bring in Big T, who will take us through the Roosters.
Come with me as we go behind enemy lines.
Well, g'day, Dragons fans. I'm Big T, and this is Behind Enemy Lines, round 8, Dragons versus Roosters. Before I bring in our guest, no, he bailed on us, mate. That was terrible. He's the Chooks team. Tedesco at the back, Daniel Tupu and Dominic Young come making a return. Sawali and Manu in the centres, Kieran Walker in the halves, Jared Warrior Hargraves, the Cheese, Smithies in the 9 role, Collins the other prop, Butcher, Crichton and Victor the inflictor locks the scrum, Watson, White, Ethan Butcher and May on the bench, Aiding Van, Michael Jennings, coach Trent Robinson. We haven't got a Roosters fan this week. They don't want to come on because they're a bunch of pussies. They're running 11th, we're running 9th, mate. Come on, get on here.
The chicken.
They're Chooks. They're a bunch of cops. What are we going to talk about? How shit the Roosters are, because they're running 11th, we're running 9th. We're the bottom of the 4 wins, they're the top of the 3 wins. I was going to talk to the guest about you ain't as good as your last game, and on both counts you lost both. They lost against Melbourne last week, and they lost against us in the last game. We beat them last time, 24-22 at Cogra. Wobbly start to the season. was going to ask him what he puts it down to, and all I can say is the Roosters are shit. I was going to ask him about Manu and Swalihi going to rugby union. What does he think about that? Yeah. Anybody else got questions? So, anybody else want to talk about the Roosters?
I think having Young and Walker back in sort of makes a big difference to the Roosters. And, I know they're blowers on the ladder, but they've played teams like the Storm and the Panthers in the opening few rounds. We haven't run into anybody quite of that quality yet. So I think they'll be a better team than they were last week, and they weren't too far off beating the Storm. So if we take this one lightly and we think that we're just going to roll over them just because we were good against the Warriors, then we might be in for a shock. So we're certainly going to have to turn up to play.
Yeah, their centre combination, Manu and Swalihi, that's just they're going to miss them next year.
And then Young brings speed to the back line too, and he could burn us too. Well, he burned us last time he played the Dragons. Remember that acrobatics try scored in the corner when he was still at the Knights. If we give him room to move, it could be a long afternoon. And he's up against he'll be up against Christian Tuapolotu, and we know he doesn't have a lot of speed, but he's very safe under the high ball. But seeing him 1-on-1 against Dom Young, well, will be interesting to see how it goes. And then it's going to be it's a game where we have to shut down James Tedesco as well. He's really found his form again this year after a under par year this year. So last year, and he's desperate to keep his origin spot, and this could be a big occasion for him to put his claims up to keep that spot this year, because Dylan Edwards is really breathing down his neck for that spot.
Yeah.
But why are the Roosters so shit, big team? I mean, you look at that team. You look at the team. You look at the fullback, the centre combination, the speed on the wings. They've got a couple of quality halves. They've got a forward pack. Waria Hargreaves, Lindsay Collins, two of the best props in the game. Angus Crichton, Victor Radley, the cheese. Like it is a team that looks like a fucking rep side. Why are they so shit?
Well, they started the season.
That team be 11?
They started the season with internationals in reserve grade.
Yeah,
and they looked good against the Broncos in Vegas. They looked like they were going to have a good year. The way they started.
They gave the touch up, didn't they? Yeah, I don't like the Roosters. They got a sombrero, not a salary cap. It's true. Like they've got special something in the background to make players go there for less money. So I don't know what it is, whether it's gambling or something.
It's the secret brown bags. It is, guys.
A man called Uncle Nick.
Got the money.
Yeah,
apologies to everybody. I've lost my screen, so I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to try and get it fixed. I was going to take it to the computer shop, so very disappointing.
I can still see your handsome face, though, Rob. I can still see you.
Yeah.
You can still see me. Wow. So I see a blank screen. So
we can see you. We can hear you. No problem on this.
You're loud and clear, Rob.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You just can't see us.
I was going to say one thing about the game. We have one X factor. We have Clark Kent. Does anybody know who Clark Kent is? As in Alias, as in Superman? And who's
Lomax?
Superman in our team?
Lomax?
Lomax. So,
Well,
to me,
Who does he
dress
up
last year in the league?
Now, I love how everyone is like, oh yeah, Lomax this, Lomax that. A week ago, we were like, oh, get fucked, go off because you're leaving us. Like,
I wasn't.
This is a roller coaster, you know? This is such a roller coaster. Like 1 minute we're like, yeah, good buddy. Next minute we're like, oh, get fucked, fuck off. I love these fans. I love it.
Well, it's exactly the same with Tyrell Sloan, Coco. Like
I know.
One week, Tyrell Sloan has a shocker and gets put out to the wing in horrible conditions in Newcastle, and everyone's like, "Oh, we've got to get rid of him. We've got to, we can't re-sign him. He's had 2 good games, and now everyone wants to sign him for life again. Like it's a roller coaster."
He even said, "I love Dapto."
No matter what.
I
It's
love
like
Dapto.
marriage.
Coco, do you know the name of Tyrell Sloan's team? that he played for his junior team? The Dapto Canaries.
Canaries.
Yeah, that's my dad.
Real
Dapto Canaries.
So
Dapto Pie Shop.
like
What
a
great
canary.
pie.
he doesn't want to leave Dapto. He wants to stay there. So I reckon that's very honourable by him. And bloody well just signing Dragons. Don't let him.
Well, that's a pretty good question, though, isn't it, Rob? I mean, yeah, it's all very well and good to say sign him, but how much would you pay? How much would you pay for Tyrell Sloan?
What's he on now? What's he on now?
Well, who knows? But it doesn't matter what he's on now. What would you pay for him? What would you? Because you can't just say, "Oh, just sign him no matter the cost."
Yeah.
If some other club comes along and says, "I'll give him $1 million a year," are we gonna match that? Like, how much is he worth?
I'll be thinking Dragons are thinking 350, 400, 500. I'd say 500.
Yeah, fullback.
600 at most.
I heard 600K today, so
yeah.
Well, here's the one that we discussed in the chat the other night. Jaden Sewer needs to be re-signed. I mean,
He does, yeah.
Well, I actually spoke to him the other day at the game, and he doesn't seem convinced that Flano wants to keep him at the club. What does everyone think on that? He's no hurry to re-sign him. It's been delayed, and he's pushing it at the end of the year.
He wants more. Like he wanted more, and Flano's not prepared to give it to him.
Could be a low ball offer. It might be he's non-wanted. Who knows what Flano wants? It might not. Yeah.
Well, Flano's very excited about our youngsters. We've got a whole set of youngsters coming through that can play in the back row. So,
and they'll be playing for less money.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. But if he thinks one of them is better than Sewer, he's gonna bring him up and let Sewer go. I know he's not tested in the NRL, but
I don't think it's a matter of thinking that they're better than Sewer, because they're simply not. Sewer's an absolute beast. But
I understand.
Like how much do you spend on two back rowers, and do you have a guy like Sewer and Leilua both signed to long-term deals and then risk losing a Ryan Couchman, risk losing a Dylan Egan, risk losing a Jacob Halangahu, because how long are they going to stick around and wait for an opportunity when other clubs will come knocking? If you've got big raps on them,
he's only
they have to
28.
have a pathway.
He's only 28 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, geez, he's only 28. He should be at the peak of his powers now.
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand.
But that's the problem. That's the problem, is that he doesn't want a 28-year-old. He wants a 32-year-old that's just going to fill a hole for 1 or 2 years until these other young kids come in. He doesn't want a 28-year-old that's going to be there for another 6 years.
Yeah, he wants
to invest in our juniors. It looks like.
That's right. Yeah.
Possibly. I mean, that's a theory. We don't know what he wants to do. We're not Shane Flanagan.
But if he wants a 30-something-year-old bloody stopgap, he's got bloody Jack Bird for that.
Well, he did mention in the preseason he's got big reps on Dylan Egan and Hamish Stewart. And they're two young back rolls coming through, and I don't know if he's going to invest it in them.
Will they be ready?
He's also got massive reps on Jack Bird for some fucking reason.
Anyway, I'll hand back to you, Big T. So you'll run us with your walk down memory lane.
I forgot all about that. Time of night, I take a walk down memory lane. This time, Dragons, Roosters, ANZAC Stadium, round 7, 2008. Crowd, 21,567. Sean Hampstead's the referee. Go for the Dragons and Roosters team. B. Moz, Flo, Gaznia, Moz, and Stanley are our back five. Howard, Soward, and Hornby are our halves. Poor, Young, and Jason Rolls are our front row. Safi, Craig, and Bay Scott Locks are scrum. For the Roosters, on the bench for the Dragons, Reynolds Webb, Simon Wolford, and Dan Hunt. Coach was Wayne Bennett. For the Roosters, Perrott, Roberts, Sia Soliola, Sedamata Sara the centres, Kenny Dow was the other winger, Anasta and Pearce in the halves. O'Malley, Brown, Nate Miles in the front row, Mason, Tupu, and Craig Fitzgibbon. Locks the scrum. Payer, Shillington, and the two Orbison boys, Mitch and James on the bench. Coach was Freddie Fittler.
Our coach was Nathan Brown, actually. Big
Oh,
T.
sorry, mate. Sorry. Yep, my mistake. I was just doing a couple at the same time. Ben Hornby scores the first try for the Dragons. Jamie Shah puts up a beautiful bomb. Ben Hornby done what we call now Zach Lomax, jumped over Sam Perrott and scored the try. Dragons were leading 6-0. Ben Hornby kick this time across to J-Moz. J-Moz catches it on the full, passes it out to Jason Nightingale. The Dragons score. Dragons 12-0. Roosters kicked the ball down on the full. We done that a couple of weeks ago in one of my walk down memory lanes. So Dragons penalty. Next try came to Anthony Tupu. He scores. Dragons 12, Roosters 6. High tackle by Riley Brown. Sound penalty, 14-6 to the Dragons. J-Moz scores just before half time. And I'll turn this page over because I'm on the old scale. Over in the left corner, busting through 2 defenders. Great try by him. Half time, Dragons 18, Roosters 6. Simon Wolford Grover 52 minutes into the game. B-Moz scores this time, so we had a Morris on either side of half time. Conversion by Soward 24-6. And then I see a Soliola steals the ball after the ref call held. Soward kicks the goal. 5 from 6 today for Jamie. Beautiful. Dragons win 26-6. And that was a walk down memory lane and behind enemy lines. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. And as I always say, the rest is history. But I want to add to that, and there was always more to be made. Thanks, Jess. Back to you, mate. I was going to thank the guest as well, but the guest wasn't around, so Roosters get fucked.
All right, so while we've got Coco on, we'll move into her segment now as she gives us her preview and what her best clashes are for this annual clash.
They're slugging it out in the middle of the field. The Dragons' front row has knocked his block off. His block is knocked off?
It's time to look at the one-on-one battles that will decide the game. Will it be the key position players? Will the fight be won out wide? Or will it be one up front? Strap yourself in for Coco's Clashes!
Over to you, Coco.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Coco's Clashes. Now, I'm going to be honest. I've only done this about a minute ago, so don't shoot me, okay? So, first of all, I just want to say that this game, to me, is a special game, and we respect and remember all the soldiers that fought for us against other countries, and I hope everyone has a good day and be kind to one another and enjoy the game and show your respect. And for me, this game is like a grand final for us. The atmosphere, you go there, and the atmosphere, you could hear a pin drop when it's that minute silence, and the minute that the kickoff is on, you just hear the roar, and it's just that atmosphere, and I love it. Every year I go. There was one year it was pelting down with rain. There was lightning. We nearly thought it was going to be called off because it was just torrential rain, and it was just nuts. People dancing in the rain. So yeah, I hope everyone enjoys the game. Now back to my clashes. Now I've waffled on for half an hour. I've got a few. So my one would be the number ones, the speed of Tedesco and Sloan. See how they run the ball, their power play. My next one would be Lomax. And who's Lomax against, Jesse? You told me and now I forgot.
Suaalii.
Oh, see those. Yeah, thank you so much. I think that would be a good game, as a good matchup as well. Just the best, of the speedsters and how Lomax will play. Also, I think Flanagan versus Keary as well. And I think who else did I do? Little and Cheese. Anyone can jump in. I'm just waffling with my head, okay? I'm just thinking out loud. Anyone can jump in for me. Team, help. I was doing housework before this, guys.
Again, every week I say the battle of the middle. Whoever wins the middle wins the game, and it's just that's the way the game is these days. You win the middle, your backs get the time to move. We've got some backs that can move and have got some good moves. So yeah, if we won the middle battle, we bend them backwards, like we did last week against the Warriors. You've got to win that match up front before your backs can do any work. So
we absolutely
honestly,
ambushed them.
That's exactly right. We just got to get on top. Well, Adam Fanua-Blake last week, he done a bit of work, but he couldn't break the line.
Yeah.
So if we can do that to their big men,
like
Jared Ware-Hargraves,
yeah, Lindsay Collins,
like he's a
and Victor Radley.
He's a big player, and watch out for Victor. Well, hopefully Victor can go a bit crazy and get 10 minutes in the bin every now and then. That's right. Yeah, he gets been sin binned every week, that bloke. So hopefully he gets one this week.
Anyone not surprised that James Tedesco and Jared Ware-Hargraves?
But I do like when he goes psycho a bit.
Sorry, what was that, Jess?
Anyone surprised that JWH or Teddy wasn't suspended?
Well, Teddy was never going to be suspended. It was a trip. No one's been suspended for a trip in 5 years. Like, it's always just a fine. There's precedent. There's no way that was ever going to be a suspension. JWH should have gone, but you know, it's the Roosters before ANZAC Day.
Yeah, well, everyone knows, like we said before, they've got Uncle Nick. So plus they've got Mark Soros too. So two of the biggest finance men in the world.
One thing we might be missing, I mean, I know it's Coco's clashes, but Flano was working on the mindset of the players, the attitude of the players, and I think he's really starting to make headway there. I think he's getting players to believe that they can beat just about any team in the competition and show up and turn up and play for 80 minutes. So I think the attitude's right now of the players. So it's just consistency from now on. But I think I got to pay homage to Flano. It's made a huge difference in that area as a coach. So if we're up for it like we were with the Warriors, obviously he's got a particular game plan for the Roosters. I think we'll roll over the Roosters, to be honest with you. There's been sort of swapping and changing in the Roosters, and there's all the debate about Tedesco and Manu for the fullback role and all that sort of stuff. So get them while they're having a few problems in the ranks, as they say, with the Roosters. I think we can roll them, to be honest with you. I really do.
Oh, I'm with you, Rob. I'm with you for sure. I think we can roll them. In those performances we won, we looked like a super team. In the performances we lost, apart from the Newcastle game must have been a tough game. But yeah, we didn't look like a team at all. So we're just going to get that consistency. We won 2 in a row now. Let's go for 3.
100%.
Any more clashes from you, Coco? Any more battles you're looking forward to, or maybe the coach battle? Shane Flanagan's first day as coach of the ANZAC Day clash. What else are you looking forward to in this game?
I think just between the mongrel, I know I miss that from our guys, especially the front rowers. I want that. I know Victor and JWH go a bit psycho, but I want that aggression in our team and that defense. I want that a bit more. When I know 2010 we had a few good Wayman and Smith, and we had Nevkostik, we had all those guys that would run up, Dean Young as well, would always just run up to the line and get absolutely belted no matter what. And they still got up, and, I miss that. And I want that for our team. We need more, I just love front rowers and back rowers and just the hard hitters. That's what we need. Hard hitters.
Back rowers and front rowers.
Like a big man, do you, Coco?
Yep. I just love it.
She loves them all.
You like a big man, Coco?
Yes, I do.
We're all big men on this show.
Hey, let's hope for Hargraves to do a head high tackle and get sent off, and Victor the Inflictor get an all in brawl.
And he can join him in the bin.
They could. You know that like when they get really frustrated, it's like that time, that little brain snap, bang. You know, it will happen.
Anyway, Rob, so Flano's named an unchanged lineup for this week. You think it's a good decision following the ambush of the Warriors last Friday? Would you have stuck with the same team, or would you have made a couple of changes there?
Oh, look, I mean, the old adage is we obviously won the last game and against what we would be thinking will be a top 4 team, the Warriors. So it's hard to change a winning team. In saying that, have you noticed Flano does make late changes as well too? He's been known to do that. So he could have a surprise up his sleeve. But in all fairness, this last win was very, very good. So unless it's a tactical thing, positional thing, a player that we're coming up against that Flano might feel there might be a better player equipped, you know what I mean? I really don't see the point in making any changes. We won the game well, convincingly against the Warriors. So he wanted good form from his players. So I see that as a reward more than anything, Jesse, to keep the same team going, if you know what I mean. And the way they've been going, if they win against the Roosters, it's going to be very hard for Jack Bird to get back into the team, to be honest with you.
No, 100%. I'll throw this one to you, Hasman. So we spoke a little bit about it before show, but interesting to see that Jack Bird has been named in jumper number 19 on the extended bench, despite being on the last day of his 11-day concussion stand-down. Do you expect Bird to play, or would you stick with Christian Tuipulotu on the wing and Zach Lomax in the centres? Would you rush Bird back for such a huge clash?
Hell no. I mean, even if he's not showing any symptoms of from the concussion,
use them all.
Like how much training has it been doing since? Like, I wouldn't risk him. B, I wouldn't have him there anyway. And C, what did anyone do wrong last week to deserve getting dropped?
Yeah,
the more you chop and change the team, the less chance you got of sort of building combinations, and getting that sort of understanding going. So, no, keep exactly the same 17 that we had last week. Do not bring Bird in at all.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree with you. I mean, everyone did their part in that game last week against the Warriors, and they all played their part and really played as a team and really deserved to keep their spot. The old saying goes.
Right. So I'll throw it back to you, Jeff. What if Luciano Leilua was available? Would you rush him back in?
Probably off the bench, but I'd probably sit out for Manu Brown. I mean, I know he's a utility and he probably comes on to give Little a spell, but as you mentioned previously, when Marsh came on a few weeks ago, he came on virtually when the game was already won. So is it worth having a utility? I mean, he spent 18 minutes out there.
Well, if there's no injuries, no, that's not worth having a utility. If there's no injuries, Jacob Little can play 80, but what if this happens? What if that happens? You've got to have a solution for the various scenarios that might show up in a game. So having a guy that fill multiple roles makes sense.
What you're looking at there, Donny, you're looking at the back line where Bird could slot in to number 4 and lose Christian Tuipulotu. But we could lose Ben Murdoch-Masila off the bench and bring Luciano in. So I think it's a different situation. Like the back line's playing so well, where do we slot Jack Bird in? But we can lose Ben Murdoch-Masila off the bench. So it's a different situation, I think.
But you would think if Bird was to return that Tuipulotu would be the player to make way.
That's what I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, but surely Bird's a utility too, though. Bird could come in for Brown. He can play a number of different roles as well. So there's that option.
Yeah. And keep Tuipulotu in the team.
He could even play as a running forward and replace, Ben Murdoch-Masila.
Mm-hmm. In my eyes, I thought Tuipulotu passed everything that was thrown at him. The Warriors kept peppering him with bombs all night against the other night, and he answered every question thrown at him. So
I'd say see how he goes this week, because that's probably the clash that scares me the most is Joey Manu and Dom Young up against Moses Suli and Christian Tuipulotu. That's the one where, to me, on paper, they've got the better of that, and it worries me a little bit.
And I hope the other side's played on the ground too, because Rava's got no chance against Daniel Tupou on the wing there. Hope it's on the ground.
It's going to be
well.
I think
he'll have Zach Lomax, but it'll be Mountain.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. True.
So Big T. So Anzac Day is always a special occasion. The whole rugby league world watches this game. It's Flano's first game in charge on Anzac Day. Do you expect the team to rise to the challenge and play with that Anzac spirit? What do you think Flano's message to the team will be this week?
I think Flano's pretty big on traditions, and they'll be going to the early morning service and then come back for a breakfast together and travel to the ground. It'll be just an occasion. I think it'll be like a grand final experience. Walking into the ground, we're going to have 40,000 people there, so it's going to be a big occasion. I think Flano's a traditionalist, and he'll try to instill the Anzac spirit into the team. But I expect a huge one from both teams. Anzac Day is always a special day for me and everybody involved. So, I'm sure Flano's going to be a huge influence on the boys, just trying to get him more involved in the Anzac spirit.
Hang on, I just got some breaking news just come through. So what about this? What do we think of this panel? Anzac Day sold out.
Yeah, I was going to say, only
Just
2 hours
come
ago, there's 100 tickets left, so I'm not surprised.
What's that, 45,000?
Yeah.
45 and a half.
Oh,
There you go.
I
I broke that news. I broke that news before you did, Jess. I said it's going to be packed out 40,000 people, and then you said it's sold out. I knew it was going to be sold out.
Yeah. Okay, Scoop.
They got that.
I expected the announcement a lot sooner, to be
Yeah,
honest. Not less than 48 hours away.
Just call me Jimmy White.
But anyway, it's going to be a specific occasion, and well, Coco and I will be there. I don't know about you guys, but it's going to be a great occasion, and it's my first Anzac Day in 13 years, so I can't wait to be there. So this wasn't on the agenda, but I'll throw it to you, Donnie. So, what are you expecting to see from the Roosters? Everyone hasn't really seen the best of them. There's been a lot of questions about them. Are you expecting a response from them on such a big occasion, and do you expect them to try and ambush us?
No, I don't. I think they're going to want to get down and dirty and make it a tough, tight contest. They haven't been playing all that well. They haven't been able to get their fluency going. So if they can make it a grind and be close enough, then that's what they'll be trying to do. I think they'll actually want to get this one down in the trenches, whereas the Dragons will probably, they're the ones that will want to play that open, free-flowing football and score some points and really put them to the sword early and put a gap on them. I think we're the team that looks the better team. We're going in with better form. So I think that they've got a few players that are coming back from injuries, which will make them a bit stronger. But it'll take them a while to get up to speed. So I think they're going to be looking to make this one a bit of a grind.
Yeah, no, I think that could be that you could be on the money there. Both teams have those big packs, and it could come down to that. And it could come down to the kicking games of the experience of Luke Keary and Ben Hunt that could get the that could decide who gets their teams home. So we'll move into our next segment where our audience will get involved. Welcome to Dragons Trivia Tuesday. So for this week, it's ANZAC theme, obviously. So my question is regarding the ANZAC Cup from 2009, so 15 years ago now. So the Dragons shut out the Roosters with the unusual scoreline of 29-0. I've mentioned this answer to Big T earlier, so no spoilers, Big T. So how many of those 29 points did Jamie Soward score on that day? So 29-0 we won. How many points did Jamie Soward score?
Jesus Christ, Big T.
I like to help. Oh, close, Andrew, close. No, Peter.
If any of our panel want to have a guess, go ahead in the private chat.
21.
Hey!
Brady Stewart. Brady Stewart, well done. You've got the answer. So, yes, Jamie Soward scored 21 of those 29 points on ANZAC Day. He got a field goal. I think he got a couple of tries and nailed some conversions from all over the park. And
Brady Stewart put in the chat before, and I love his dedication. He's leaving Mudgee at 7 a.m. on Thursday morning to be at the footy. That's great. Fantastic.
4 or 5 hour drive to Sydney.
I love the supporters from the country that travel. It's great.
Who scored the other 8 points, Jess?
On your Brady.
The other 8 points. Well, I'll see if I can just.
You should have had it written down.
I could have a look at that. That's quite easy.
It was the 2 wingers.
B. Moser and Wendell.
Flo, Nightingale was the other one.
Oh, Wendell didn't play that game.
Nope.
Okay. I thought he would have. Well, there you go. And that year Brett Morris went on to score 25 tries. And here's some interesting trivia for you today. Well, I was listening. Rob might have heard it. He listens to SEN as well. They had named the top 5 try scorers of the between 2010 and 2019. Number 1 was Aquila Uarte. Brett Morris was number 3.
Yeah, okay.
Jared Croker was number 2.
Quilla.
Sean Kenny Dowell, and rounding up the top 5, I forget who it was now. Yeah, anyway, just Jared Croker was second. And then there was Brett Morris was in there, and Sean Kenny Dowell. Some names there to bring back some memories there, obviously. So now the Dragons will be raising some funds for Legacy Australia at the game on ANZAC Day, and that'll be through their 50-50 raffle tickets. And we actually had a clip where they had a guest from Legacy Australia come down to the Dragons training session yesterday ahead of the clash.
Injuries or deaths of family members or spouses. Today we have Jeff and Sydney Legacy coming in to watch the NRL. Sydney Legacy is going to be our 50-50 match day partner for round 8 ANZAC Day game against the Sydney Roosters at Allianz Stadium. We're working alongside them as they support veterans and their families who have been affected through injuries or deaths of family members or spouses. Today we have Jeff and Sydney Legacy coming in to watch the NRL men's team train as part of our 50-50 match day partnership. It's been really good to hear about Jeff's story and the work that he does with Legacy and the work that Legacy does within the community as well.
So I served in the Army for 25 years, joined when I was 17, and my last 8 years I served and worked as support staff over with the Special Air Service Regiment in Perth. Probably 2 months after I arrived, my best friend's best friend lost her husband, Sergeant Matthew Locke MG, over in Afghanistan. And I think for me that really brought home what we're doing and, why we serve. It's fantastic. I love the fact that he's here. He's mentioning all of the names. He's talking to the coaches and revisiting, that one moment when someone wore their white boots and they lost 58-0. It's always those one little things, but Jeff has kept all of the statistic books from every year, and he absolutely loves this. So seeing the smile on his face today is absolute gold.
And Hasman, I'll get your thoughts on that. What do you think the Dragons are doing there to get Legacy involved at training and the proceeds from the raffle on the day going to Legacy Australia?
Look, I think it's fantastic. Full credit to them for doing that. Just got a question. Don't know if anyone knows. What happens with the proceeds from the ANZAC jerseys that are sold sort of through the Dragon store and sort of online and whatever? What does that go sort of towards that as well?
I reckon it would be towards the proceeds should go towards Legacy. I wouldn't say I don't know for sure, but I wouldn't say.
I know they sort of raffle off the sort of the game day jerseys, but what about the sort of the ones for general sale?
I don't know. Donnie, do you know what goes on with the ANZAC sales? Do they go to Legacy or anything like that?
I don't think so, mate, but I don't know. Maybe. I have no idea.
Okay.
But yeah, just on that little video that you just played, it struck me a little bit. I guess hearing the name Matthew Locke, I was actually serving in the SASR when he did die. So there was a guy that I worked with that lost his life over in Afghanistan. So just hearing his name in that video sort of struck a bit close for me. But yeah, I guess that's what Anzac Day is all about: remembering people like that gave their life and in service of their country.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's such a special occasion. We want to remember and pay respects to all those people that died and fought for our country all those years ago in wars. Well, I'll throw over to you, Donnie, so you can run us through something a bit more up your alley. Run us through some lower grades for this week.
Got some massive stuff going on in the lower grades this weekend. We've got two teams in grand finals. We'll probably save them for the end, but we'll go to the New South Wales Cup first of all. I've got to do the conversion of time in my head. So it's 1 p.m. On Saturday at Collegians, the New South Wales Cup team taking on the Roosters. Only change for the team is that Michael Molo isn't named in this side yet. He might still line up depending on what happens on Anzac Day. But Jackson Shearer coming into the side. Otherwise, unchanged for the team that lost in the last minute last week. Matt Feeney at fullback, Sione Finau and Savelio Tamale on the wings. Max Feeney and Ben Johnson in the centres. Josh Ralph and Jesse Marshke is the halves pairing. Alec Tuatavake, Viliami Fafita, the front row. Connor Mollison is at 9. Dylan Egan and Ryan Couchman in the second row, and Toby Couchman's been named at lock. So an opportunity for Toby to press his claim and maybe play some bigger minutes. He's been in fantastic form lately. The bench, Hayley Finau, Dan Russell, Josh Corrich and Jackson Shearer. Jonah Glover is 18th man. But as we know, the New South Wales Cup side will probably change an hour before kickoff. We'll get a few more players that might jump in there that are currently in that NRL squad. In the Jersey Flegg, also taking on the Roosters, 11:15 a.m. also at Collegians on Saturday. Wes Pring is been named. He comes into the side at fullback. So no Benny Rumble again. So he was a late scratching last week. So a little bit of a surprise not to see him in the side. Pring at fullback, Ethan Cliff and Kai Russell on the wings, Will Starling and Ben Lavender the centres. The consistent halves pairing of Nick Quinn and Ashton Ward. Up front, Jacob Webster and Jet Liu. I think they'll be worried about the SG ball season finishing because their jobs might be on the line with a couple of the Dragons front rowers becoming available for Jersey Flegg from next week. Kyan Jolterson, Campbell Watchers, Nick Sagranis and Hamish Stewart make up the rest of the starting lineup. On the bench, it's Trey Barlow, Trav Barrett, Hancock, Callum Lightball and Jack Quine. The 18th man is Kai Wright. In terms of the grand finals, well, we'll talk first of all about the Tarsha Gale Cup. The Illawarra Steelers up against the Newcastle Knights. The Tarsha Gale side, they've been undefeated all season. They barely looked like losing a game. They should go in as heavy favourites in this one. They've named a fairly extended side to begin with. Hiliwaka Pahatu at fullback, Darcy Eade and Maria Paseka, a real flyer on the wing if she does get any open space. Indy Bostock and Mia Rose Walsh make up a formidable centre pairing. Evie McGrath and Casey Ray are the halves. And then up front, you've got Hope Millard and Ella Costa with Chelsea Saville at dummy half. In the back row is Charlotte Basham, Michaela McFadden, Sienna Yo, and a bench of Bianca Jones, Brianne Yo, Brielle Lassetti, and Bronte Wilson. As I say, a bit of an extended bench. They've named pretty much everyone. Tegan Smee, Taylor Miller, Sienna Leslie, Rooney Cowan, all getting their name on the team sheet on Tuesday. But there's going to be a few disappointed women come kick off in that one. So that's the under-19s women in the grand final. I expect to see a few of those names lining up for the NRLW side later in the year. Really looking forward to that. And then we finish. But that one is at, what time's that? So 1:30 p.m. at Combank Stadium on Saturday. And then the final game at 3:15 p.m. at Combank on Saturday is the Dragons, the St. George Dragons, up against the Canterbury Bulldogs, the under-19s men's FG Ball Cup Grand Final. The Dragons have named an unchanged lineup from the team that waltzed into the Grand Final with a convincing win over the Knights last week. At fullback, Tyler Peckham-Harris. On the wings, Zach Nakar and Jesse Williams. David Arfu and Lyric Crafty Moananui are the centres. Shadi Hamoud and Brendan Tikano are the halves. Up front, as I say, some good players here that could feature in Jersey Flegg as early as next weekend. So there's not going to be too much time for celebrations for the likes of Ryan Hutchinson and Loco Pacifici Tonga. The dummy half, Isaiah Fangalilo, Jacob Halangahu, Cyrus Stanley Trail, and Finau Latu make up a very, very dangerous back row. And then on the bench, Angus Clark, Corey Ackers, who this gives you an indication as to how strong this side is. Corey Ackers has an NRL development contract and he's on the bench in the SG Ball Grand Final. That's how strong this side is. Viliami Yakila and Riziati Smythe on the bench as well. Ben Geary is 18th man at the moment with Lennox Jensen as the 19th man. They won't be walking the park against the Bulldogs. They've got their key player is their halfback and captain, Mitch Woods, who is signed to the Bulldogs. He's into their top 30 squad. He might already be in their top 30, but certainly in their top 30 next year for about the next 4 or 5 years. So, it's Phil Gould. He's no dummy. He's locked up a quality young halfback very, very early on a long-term deal. It's going to be a great game. Looking forward to it. The Dogs caused a bit of an upset last week, beating the Roosters. So they come in pretty good form. And funnily enough, the last time that the Dragons won the SG Ball Cup was back in 1992, so a long time ago. But they won 20-0 over the Bulldogs. So hopefully we can replicate that. Back to you, Jeff.
And what are you expecting the Tarsha Cup? What are you expecting the Newcastle Knights to be a threat as well? And how many of these Steelers players do you expect to advance to the top grade in the Harvey Norman Premiership starting in July?
Yeah, I hope the Steelers do what they've done all year, mate, and win pretty comfortably. They're a very, very good team. We already know that Ella Costa played NRLW last year. Charlotte Basham played NRLW last year. So we're certainly expecting to see them again this year. But yeah, there's some other very good players in that team, including both the halves, Casey Ray and Evie McGrath. We talked on Sunday's show about Tyler King, formerly Tyler Nathan Wong. She got married during the off-season. Tyler King coming back, but she won't be there for the start of the season. So there's going to be an opening in the halves. So, the captain, Casey Ray, very, very young, obviously under 19s, but I think she's in her first year, so she's a year young. They could play at this level again next season. Both of them very good players that could jump into the halves. I know Jamie Soward mentioned Evie McGrath when we had him on our show last year. So, and the two centres, Indy Bostock, Mia Rose Walsh, are two others that I could certainly see getting that opportunity at the NRLW level, if not this year, then next.
Yep. And you give us a chance in both. You expect the both teams to win in the grand final, both our teams?
I think if the Steelers don't win, it'll be very disappointing. I won't say failure. I think if you make a grand final, you can't say it's a failure. But to go through unbeaten, the closest any team's come to beating this Steelers team was at an 18-point margin. So no one's got near them all year. So to come into a grand final, you would expect that they will get the job done. I'm just having a quick look. I don't think they played the Knights during the regular season. Just sort of scrolling through those other results. So I don't think that these two teams actually ran into each other. They didn't at all during the regular season. So it is the first time they've met. But the Knights certainly haven't been anywhere near as perfect in the way that they got to this grand final. So you'd expect that the Steelers will get the job done. The Bulldogs beat the Knights earlier in the year, and they drew with Manly, who quite frankly weren't that good. So and also lost to the Roosters in the regular season. So they were probably lucky to make finals, and they've done very well to progress through to the grand final. They just beat Manly in the first week of finals by 2, and they smashed the Dogs, caused a massive upset in the semi-final, 28-0. I'd expect the Steelers will go into that one as $1.15 favourites. They'll be very, very short. The SG Ball, that grand final, I think that one's going to be a little bit more even. I would still expect the Dragons though to start as favourites. They were second at the end of the regular season. I think the Dogs were fourth or maybe even fifth. So they've again caused an upset to get here. But I don't think we'd be taking them lightly. I think we're talking $1.80, $1.90 versus $1.90 type favourite. Is not too much in that one. It's whoever turns up on the day. If we turn up like we did last week, we'll win this game.
Yep. You mentioned the Knights too. They've been the last two defending premiers of the NRLW, and I think they'd have a good junior system coming through. So they're a team I wouldn't take lightly. They've got some promising young players coming through, and they're not the two-time NRLW defending premiers for nothing.
Yeah, Tarsha Gale Cup's different to NRLW, but they've obviously got something good going on in terms of their women's pathways, and they've got a lot of girls in that area that aspiring to be in that Newcastle Knights NRLW side. So it's another great rugby league region, isn't it? The Steel Cities basically coming together in a grand final. They both love their footy, and looking forward to getting one up over the Knights, because they've given us a bit of stick in a few grades over the last little while. It'd be nice to get a win over them.
Yep. I'll bring in Coco now. So we'll someone may have to help her. But this one regards something that came in late to this afternoon. So Dragons legend and inaugural NRLW captain Sammy Bremner has just been appointed to the New South Wales coaching staff. So what do we think of that? Is this a good addition for the New South Wales women's team? Coco.
I don't think Coco's on anymore, mate.
All right. We've lost her. Okay. Well, Donnie, you know Sammy Bremner a fair bit from her career and what she's done in the game. What do you think she'll add to the New South Wales coaching staff?
She's a quality player. She understands the game. She's been. You listen to her in commentary and all that sort of stuff. She knows rugby league, so she's going to be able to impart plenty of knowledge. She's going to know how to prepare for those big games. Yeah, I think. I think she brings plenty to that side. It's a good appointment. It makes sense. It's a bit of a no-brainer, really, isn't it?
Yeah, she played many Origins. One of the best players to ever pull on the sky blue jersey and play in the women's rugby league as well. So yeah, and she'll be great for these young girls coming through and a great.
It's like if you've got the option to sign Wayne Bennett, you just sign Wayne Bennett. So you've got a quality player like that. If she's available, if she wants to do the job, then you give it to her.
Yeah, and she'll be a great mentor for the likes of Tegan Berry and the other fullbacks in line to wear the New South Wales #1 jersey come Women's Origin, which is due in about a month's time, which will actually kicks off Magic Round this year at Suncorp. So Rob, Zach Lomax leading the Dally M's. What are your thoughts on this?
Truly deserves it. Fantastic form. I pretty much almost say he's the best player in the comp. So he really does deserve to be up there, up top. So good on him. Fantastic. Well deserved. I hope he keeps going. And I think he will, actually. I think it will. It doesn't matter where it is. Centre, fullback, winger, 5'8". Even Blogger thinks he can't play in the middle. But I reckon Zach could do it. So
and on form, is he in your New South Wales team for game one?
Absolutely, 110%, mate. You got to have him. You got to have him somewhere. Obviously, probably on the wing, but he has to be in the team. His aerial ability alone, he's just so high up there this season. Just to get one try in the State of Origin that way could be the way for us to win a game. New South Wales to beat Queensland. So sorry, Big T, but yeah, he's got to be there. He has to.
Yeah, I think you look at Zach Lomax and leading the Dally M, and I know he hasn't won it. No winger has ever won the Dally M, and no centre has won it since Steve Rogers in 1981. So centres and wingers, they don't get votes. They don't lead the Dally M. They don't get to this position unless you're doing what Zach Lomax is. He has been absolutely phenomenal. It's been. It's been a great start to the season for him. And if New South Wales don't pick him, I think Queenslanders will be very, very happy.
Yeah, we will be very, very happy. But I'm glad Freddie's not coached, because Freddie would have played him at halfback. That's just the way Freddie coached. He put poor old Nico Hines in the centres, like he's a halfback.
And Damien Cook.
Damien Cook, that's right. So.
Well, Queensland put Ben Hunt in the centres, and it worked. So when Queensland do it, it worked.
We can do whatever we
It
want.
looks like Ben Hunt's going to get picked now with the injury to Kalen Ponga.
That's right, exactly right.
Big T, my only concern about I got for Zach Lomax in playing State of Origin New South Wales, right, is that he jumps up for a high ball, right, and he gives head. In other words, he hits the head of Reece Walsh, and I think fucking Reece Walsh will love it. So.
Look,
big hello to the legend Steve Mascott.
Yes, I was just about to say that. It's from London, mate. Well done, mate. Yeah. Hello.
The guru, is it? Is that what they call him?
Oh, he's an absolute legend.
Good stuff. I like to see it.
So, Hasman, the Dragons have shown interest in Roosters back row Angus Crichton, with the Eels and also Rugby Union showing interest. Crichton has indicated that he would like to go back to Union at some stage, and most likely this would be the time. Would you like to see Crichton join the Red V?
Oh, certainly wouldn't turn him down. I mean, think of it this way: he's an Origin and Australian international representative. He's won a grand final with the Roosters in 2019. He's come through that the Roosters system, so he knows what he's doing. He's been coached by some of the best coaches in the game. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he did spend some time at South, but can't really blame him for that. But yeah, no, 100%. If he wants to come, I'll have him.
Yep. Anyone have any other thoughts on that? Would you like to see Crichton in the Red V, or would you like to see us bring in the development, one of our young guys, or possibly keep Jaden Stewart?
I'd go down a different path and say that there'd be a no from me. It doesn't make sense to be recruiting Angus Crichton when you're letting Jaden Sewer go. That doesn't make a great deal of sense. If you're letting Jaden Sewer go, then surely it's to bring through the young blokes and not to bring in a guy that's the same age, plays the same position, and quite frankly isn't as good. I think Angus Crichton hasn't been the same player the last couple of seasons, so I wouldn't mind him at the club a year or two ago. I just think that now it doesn't make sense to me.
No, fair enough.
Big T.
Great. Totally agree. Yeah.
I'll throw something else in the mix as well too. I just wonder now when you think about it, with Flano, he's obviously a very tough taskmaster as a coach. Hard guy, expects, etc. And I'm sure he's got the respect of the players. Do you think maybe Lomax and Jaden Sewer clash with him? Because Jesse, you heard what he said to you. You're a fan, and he didn't use just normal words. He used quite.
Yes, we're not going to say that word. Yes.
So no, of course not. But what I'm saying is, mate, is there something more to the picture? Does Flano not tolerate, no matter what the player is, anyone who might clash with him? You know what I mean? And no matter how good they are, because I can't. It doesn't make sense for Jaden Sewer not to re-sign him. And Zach Lomax obviously just still wants to go.
Well, there was an article the other day following Parramatta's disaster in Darwin that Lomax is still in the cooling off period and may consider a backflip, but
that's bullshit.
Many people reckon that ship sailed and he's off to the Eels. I mean, you think Brad Arthur's future in jeopardy could have anything to do with Lomax backflipping and staying with the club?
I actually read something that there is no cooling off period. That's like a myth that goes around that the other club, so the club that he's leaving, has like an option to potentially offer him more or something along those lines. But the player himself, Zach Lomax, he can't backflip. That's not something. It's not his decision.
But if you're a player, you go back to the club you're at and say, listen, this is what they want me for. What can you offer? And if your club goes, we can't offer it, you go to the other club. So there's no cooling off period because your club's already said I don't want you. So
it is a new rule that just come in this year. They get 10 days to.
I did read it.
Gives them a 10-day leeway for the club he's departing to give him a final offer to try and convince him to stay. But
the club can make him an offer.
That's right. That's what I just said.
Lomax can't just decide that he wants to leave.
There's two things that I see significant, if you believe them. Lomax went to Brad Arthur's place months ago, whenever it was. I reckon the deal was done then, this dinner that they had. And then also, too, if you watch a press conference, it wasn't last week, the week before, Flano really had the shits. He almost said, I'm sick of this Lomax saga. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I don't want to talk any more about Lomax, leaving the club. So to me, I agree with Donnie. I think the deal was done a while ago. And we're just playing catch up. at all.
It
Well,
might be
you
the
want to
same
call
as
it
the Ben Hunt
contract
drama.
or
He probably was over talking about Ben Hunt, and he wanted to stop the talk about it.
Yeah. We talked about it before about the backflip. It's not going to happen. See you later. Let's go.
He wants the place to focus. He doesn't want him to talk about, all this shit all the time. That Lomax is leaving. Or could he possibly be staying? Is he leaving? Whatever. It's all done. It's dead and buried now.
It's wishful thinking. It's wishful thinking from fans, mate. Look at the way he's playing. He's an absolute fucking star, and the fans don't want him to leave. So that they're praying, they're hoping. Is there a chance of a backflip? Can he come back? Surely you don't want to go to that rabble of a mob in Parramatta. Look at the way they're playing. Look how bad they are. Why wouldn't you want to stay here? Like it's wishful thinking.
What's stopping him?
Reality.
What's stopping him going to Parramatta? He's signed a 4-year contract, didn't he, at Parramatta?
Yeah.
What's stopping him going to Parramatta, getting 2 years into the contract, and say, I don't want to be here anymore. I want out of my contract.
Already he's going to be playing fullback at Parramatta. That's what already he's going to have.
Well, nothing to stop him, mate. There's nothing to stop any player. Jason Taumalolo in the first year of his 10-year contract could have done the same thing. Like, any player at any time can go, I don't want to be here anymore. And then it's up to the club, though. He's like, Ben Hunt said the same thing. He said, I don't want to be here anymore. The club said, fucking tough chitties. You've got a contract. We don't want to let you go, so you're not going anywhere.
Well, so in 2 years' time, I'm going to start the rumour that Zach Lomax wants out of Parramatta. So you heard it here first.
Start again.
You heard it here first.
Before he even gets there, he's looking for a release.
Best player for another team. It could be
Clint Gutherson, he's got knee troubles right now, so it could be a sign that Lomax could play fullback. There was talk
Lomax would be a better fullback than Gutho anyway, mate.
I'm positive he's going there to be fullback, Jesse. Absolutely positive of it.
There is talk that Gutherson could move to the halves. So, yeah.
Put Gutho in the centres.
Centres, yeah. That'd be more logical.
So, Big T, before I throw to you this question, we'll show this clip that was filmed on 100% Footy last night. Just goes for a minute.
Well, that result in the early match on Friday night, I don't think anyone saw that coming. Yes, it was home Gale for them, the Dragons, but they recently put out on the paddock and what we'd seen from the Warriors, 30-12.
Yeah, look, the Warriors for me have been a little bit disappointing this year. I tipped them to make the grand final this year. I think they're a great side, but they've been a little bit disappointing. But the Dragons, they're a good team, and I think they're a big chance of the top 8. It's their team up close and personal. Their outside backs are the biggest blokes I've seen in my life. They are absolute monsters, and they're powerful. They get their set started well. They really help their forwards out to get their set started. They've got a great control in half. Flano's doing a great job as coach. Flanagan at the halfback is doing a great job as controlling the team around the park. And then Hunt's on fire at the moment. Zach Lomax is playing the best football of his career. He's going outstanding on the wing. Played centre the other day. Scored another try for high ball. Look, I know Gus says don't pick your team early, but for me, he's my origin winger at the moment. He's going absolutely outstanding. And as a club, Flano's just made them happier. He's made the place happy. You can see they like playing for each other. And that's what Flano does as a coach. He makes you want to play for each other and as a team, and he's doing a great job there.
So, Big T, do you agree with Gale there? Are we finals bound, or is there still work to do? Is it still early to say?
Hey, look, we're Dragons fans, mate. Come on. We're up and down every week. We haven't put a positive season together since 2018. Gale could be right. We could be on our way to the semi-finals. And I agree with him that the Warriors, I tipped them to win the grand final this year, but they haven't clicked yet. There's something missing there. And I think it might be Metcalf from 5'8". Well, that's another team. But yeah, no, I agree with Gale. We could be semi-finals bound if the team that played last week turns up every week. It's consistency. You've got to be consistent. So there's a chance we could be there. Pardon?
Is it down to Flano's coaching, what we're producing on the field at the moment?
I think it's down to Flano and Flanagan convincing the boys of his plans going forward, and the players have bought into it. So yeah, I think he does have an influence on the team. I think it's just his motivational skills. Because to be a good coach, you have to be a good man manager. And you've got to manage these blokes all differently. Yeah, so you've got to be a good man manager, and I think players have bought into his ideas.
Well, I think Rob actually brought up a good point a little while ago about the tactics of Flanagan, in that we seem to go in and we haven't seen this. As Dragons fans, we've forgotten what this looks like when you actually go into a game with a game plan. But for each different opposition, we have a different way that we're going to attack that game. Flanagan actually has a plan in terms of how we're going to win that game, what we're going to try and do. And, we've seen the last couple of weeks the boys go out and execute it. We've certainly seen some other games where they haven't. But it's great to see a coach that actually looks like he's got a plan rather than just...
And the players are buying into it as well. They're buying into his plan. So rugby league's all about lies and deception. So you've got to be able to trick the other team. And we're doing that now.
Well, the serious thing was the winning mentality. Flanagan's getting the players to believe they can win.
Exactly right. That's what I was just been saying, yeah.
2 in a row, 3 in a row, I think you said, Big T.
He's told.
They didn't believe that they could win 3 games in a row.
Sloane's believing how good he is. And Flanagan's brought that out in him. Like Flanagan said he was going to take him to dark, dark places, and maybe he took him there. He took him there.
How good did Sloaney look with his headband and his 3/4 socks?
Exactly right.
I had a mate, a big front rower,
and before he got his head split open and he lost all confidence in playing football, they put a headband on him. And that mate of mine, he went on to play for the Dragons, Colin Sakuru.
Colin Sakuru.
Yeah. It was a headband. Confidence. Yeah. Gave him confidence on the field.
Yeah.
Because he split it and lost it all. So the headband could give him more confidence.
Maybe. Anyway, I'll throw this one to you, Hasman. So Tyrell Sloan indicated earlier this week that he'd love to stay with the club beyond this year. Even mentioned that how much he loves Dapto. Flanagan's toughened him up. And he shifted to the wing in that game against the Knights. Do you think Sloan is still our long-term fullback, and would you like him to sign on beyond this year?
No, shit, get rid of him. No, if he can keep improving the way he's been so far this season, then fucking absolutely. I mean, he's the only player with any speed that we've got. I mean, you saw what he did to DWZ on Sunday. He just ran straight past him and left him, basically holding his Charles Dickens in his hand. Like, he just absolutely burned him. And he actually said too that he actually wanted to go inside with Tenny Zalesny rather than outside, but because of all the defending that they've been doing, his legs were gone. So I mean, imagine what he could have done, if his legs weren't fucked. Like No, look, I've been one of Sloane's biggest critics on the Mad Dragons podcast, and I'm definitely starting to come around to him now. I like the effort that he's putting in. He's obviously listening to what the coach is saying, and if he can continue to do that and continue to improve, then he can be the future that everyone most people seem to think that he is.
Yep, 100%. We'll just have to watch this space, I think. I think if as you said, if he continues to improve, that the club will come to an offer and offer him a contract, and who knows how long he'll stay, and it'll just be down to money and what the Dragons want from him. And
isn't he up there with the leading try scorers, Jesse?
Well, Zach Lomax is the leading try scorer right now, I think.
But, I mean,
he's second.
Yeah,
Sloan and Lomax are the top, and I think Jack Bostock is up there too, from the Dolphins.
Now, our friend Mohammed Dib makes a very valid point too. Sloan actually missed a huge chunk of the preseason because he got injured in the Corey knockout. So imagine him with a full preseason under Flano under his belt. That's what he's going to be. That's what he's going to be like next year.
Yep, and Flano will toughen him up.
Unless he gets injured at the Tory knockout again.
I don't think he'll
And just to answer that, well, then you'll quit the club. Just to answer that question from before, the leading try scorer in the comp at the moment is Ronaldo Muatalo and Sunia Taruba, and then it's Sloan and Bostock are next.
Okay.
So maybe our next fullback is the leading try scorer.
Could very well be.
But I guess that's the question. If we don't have Sloan, then who? Like, if you can't just say, "Oh, no, Sloan's no good. Get rid of him." If you're going to then go and replace him with a shit fullback like Clint Gutherson.
And typical of Queenslanders, I read today that Queensland's tried to lure Suni Taruva to play for them in Origin, and New South Wales give him a big fat no. He's born in Sydney.
No, doesn't matter. That's in Queensland. You've heard the song.
Yeah,
that's in Queensland.
Seen Queensland on a map once.
I think that's right. Yeah.
And someone threw up Jerome Hughes to play for Queensland.
Why not?
Anyway,
that's in
we'll move into our next segment of the evening. Yeah, he's not on tonight, but we'll he sent us in his multi, so we'll bring it up following this.
All I want, all I need, all I crave is a big multi. All I want, all I need, all I crave is a big multi. London multi.
All right, so Muzz's multi this week. He has gone Marcelo Montoya, an anytime try scorer, paying $1.88 in the Warriors game against the Titans in Auckland. He's gone Christian Tuipulotu at $2.85 to be an anytime try scorer in our Anzac Day clash against the Roosters. And he's gone another game on Anzac night, Nick Meaney to be an anytime try scorer at $3.15 in their game against the Bunnies in Melbourne. And he's gone in the Manly Parramatta game on Friday night, the match to be over 44.5 points, and Jake Trebojevic to be any time try scorer.
Jeez.
So, Donnie, do you think that Muzza could be on the money with these bets?
I'm going to go with the percentages and say no.
And remember, it's Muzza.
I hope so, because that's paying a fair bit and would be some good coin for the Family of League Foundation. We'd love to make that donation, but
I think we get a write up.
Well, yeah, I think we're long odds, and it is long odds.
Anything can happen, though.
Anything can happen.
Anything
You're right.
can happen.
Rugby league is a funny game.
That's right.
All five of those things need to happen.
I remember the days when I used to get footy tab up. Remember the plus and minuses? I used to do all that, but now it's new and I don't do it anymore. Remember,
Right.
gamble responsibly.
Roy McDonald. Muzz, are you a millionaire? No. Looking at your bets, I can see why.
Rory.
He hasn't missed. All right. Well, before we get into our predictions for the Dragons Roosters game, we'll move into our round 8 tips. So early on Anzac Day, so normally the Warriors have been playing Melbourne on Anzac Day recently, but this time they've indicated they want to play in New Zealand, and they will be doing that on Anzac Day afternoon. They'll be playing the Titans at 2:00. Kurt Capewell is out with a throat injury, that he picked up against the Dragons. Jacob Laban comes into the second row with Zion Ma'u'u to make his debut off the bench. The Titans are unchanged from their loss to Manly. Who are you liking in this one, Donny?
Well, you've got to like the Warriors at home. I think the Titans haven't been going much shot. They're going to win a game at some point. I don't think this is going to be it. I think the first time the Warriors get a chance to play an Anzac Day game in New Zealand, I think it'll be quite special for them, and they'll be up for the occasion. So I think the Warriors should win this one and should win it pretty well.
Are you more of the same, Hasman, or will Uncle Des get the Titans' first win and his first win as Titans coach?
Well, I agree 100% with Donny. The Titans will eventually win a game, but that's not going to be this one. I think the Wales will put a bit of a score on them, and I think they'll put Desi's position under even more pressure than it already is, if that's even possible.
You think the same, Big T? You think the
Yeah,
Waz will bounce back at home?
The Wales will bounce back at home, but I still think they've still not got Bunty or Jazz Tavanga on the bench, and those two give them punch. They got Dylan Walker back. Titans, no Tito Fa'asumala Awi. I'll get it every week. Don't worry about that. They're motherless, mate. Forget them. Like Rory McDonald says, by 30, and I agree with him.
Yep. Rob, you going to make it unanimous, or you're gonna go and upset?
Drums will be beating, Spears will be out. They'll be winning the game. The Warriors, 100%. They'll be reeling over the loss to the mighty Dragons. So I'd be feeling sorry for the Titans at this stage, because I think Warriors are in for a big game.
Yep. So we'll move on to our next game on Anzac Day, which will be it's the night game on Thursday night. The Melbourne Storm, they're taking on the Bunnies. So the Bunnies coming off the bye. The Melbourne Storm are unchanged from their win over the Roosters last week, while the Bunnies, Jacob Gagai will play his first game since Vegas. Damien Cook returns after being dropped in their last game, and Shaquai Mitchell comes in for Tavita Totola, who's out for an extended period. I think he picked up an injury out long term. Peter Mamazelos goes back to the bench, and Jai Arrow returns from a shoulder injury. So it'd be interesting to see if he does play. He's trying to hold off surgery for the rest of the year in order to keep playing for the Bunnies. I'll throw to you, Big T. Who do you like in this one? The Storm keep rolling, or do the Bunnies get their season back on track?
I can't see the Bunnies winning another game this season. They haven't got a halfback. I know they get Damien Cook back, but I think Melbourne just be way too strong for him.
Well, Damien Cook wasn't even injured. He got dropped.
That's right. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. But I'm saying he's back in the top side, so he won't make much of a difference. Melbourne by plenty.
You agree with that, Rob?
Oh, 100%. I think Melbourne will be way too strong. When it rains, it pours. They're just too strong for the Bunnies outfit at the moment, mate. The Bunnies are in a real mess, like Big T said. Missing crucial players, crucial positions, and they're in a world of pain. There might be more to the Bunnies as well too. Problems with players, coach. I don't know, but Melbourne will be going to be way too strong for them. And Craig Bellamy coach team as well too. He'll be going in for the kill.
Hasman, you think there'll be more pressure added on embattled coach Jason Demetrio, or can they pull off the upset down there and win their first game ever in Melbourne?
No, look, it's same situations. The Titans, they will win another game, but it's not going to be this one. I'm just trying to figure out which coach is going to get sacked first, Demetrio or Arthurs?
Or Desi.
Which one of them, or Desi? Which one of those three is going to go first? My money would be on.
Throw in Adam O'Brien to that conversation.
No, I think
you always want to sack Adam O'Brien. They made the finals last year. There's no way Adam O'Brien's going anywhere.
He's got a 3-year extension as well.
Bad way.
Yeah, he literally just
contract.
signed an extension.
But he's still on his old contract. That
Never
doesn't
got
start
to
till
the
next
night,
year,
yeah.
his new extension.
So why would they sign him on an extension and then sack him? They're not the Dragons. They run by the Dragons management.
You're going to keep it unanimous, Donny? Is it the Storm in Melbourne?
It's a no-brainer, this one, mate. South are an absolute rabble. Melbourne are hard to beat down in Melbourne. They always go pretty well. And again, Anzac Day, they'll be up for the occasion. There's a reason why South are even longer odds, less chance of winning this game, according to the bookies, than the Gold Coast Titans. They are terrible. Melbourne win this one easy.
Yep, I'm agreeing, and I've heard the experts saying Melbourne's trying to adapt to a style that will help them for the bigger games later in the year, and they're a team that likes to get their wins early, and they don't have to do a whole lot for the rest of the year, and they're building towards finals. They look a much different side to the one that played in 2023, and I think they'll be primed for a big performance in this one, and have a special performance on Anzac night and blow the Bunnies away. So on Friday, we're at Brookie, Manly up against Parramatta. Parramatta are big outsiders. Manly are very short price favourites. Josh Aloiai returns from suspension for Manly, with Big T's favourite boy Aaron Woods dropped from the 17.
Dropped from the side, yeah. I knew that was coming. He gave me a call and said, I'm getting dropped this week, so I knew that was coming.
While Ethan Sanders comes in for the Eels for his NRL debut. Many people calling for that a couple of weeks ago when Moses went down. Donny knows a little bit about him, so I'll go to him a little bit later about it. Mike Acevo has been recalled as well. And Kelma Tuolangi onto the bench with Brendan Hands and Makahisa Makatoa. I'll go to you, Donny, for your tip.
Yeah, I think Manly should win this game. I'm not quite as confident as the other two. I kind of feel like every time you write off the Eels, they come out and they cause an upset, and then they win a game. You think, oh, maybe they're not so bad, and then they're terrible again the next week. You just can't pick the Eels at all. But I can't see them winning this game. Manly should win this one fairly comfortably. The Eels looked dreadful last week, but they won the week before. Like everybody is talking about what the Eels did last week, but the week before they won when nobody expected them to. So I don't know. I think that something. If there's going to be a shock, it might be in this game, but I'll go with Manly.
And can you tell us a little bit about Ethan Sanders? What can you expect from him? You know a little bit about him.
Yeah, he's a good young half, but again, they've gone through a few, haven't they, in the last few weeks? They've tried a few different options, and now they've gone, and it feels like a desperate move from the coach. To me, this is a young kid that I don't think is quite ready for the top grade right now. He's physically not there defensively. I think he's going to be a big target. They're going to try and isolate a guy like Amoli Olakawatu with Ethan Sanders, and I think it could get ugly. I don't think he's quite ready for the top grade, and I think Arthur's is doing a bit of a disservice to the young bloke by chucking him right into the deep end at this stage of his career. I think he needs a little bit more development.
Yep, fair enough. Hasman, what are you expecting in this one?
I'm expecting Parramatta to do absolutely nothing and Manly to win by plenty. No Mitchell Moses, no chance against Manly.
Fair enough. Keeping it short and sweet. Rob, you more of the same? Manly at home?
I second exactly what Donny said. I still think, it can be a little bit dangerous. You never know what to expect with Parramatta, but Manly at home, unless you get the chocolates, in all honesty. So I think Parramatta are in a bit of mess, and I think Gutho's obviously playing, maybe, is it knees? I think he's got 2 bad knees or something. I can't remember what it is, or calves or something pretty bad. He's pulling up in games now, so he's obviously very low on the wear and tear. So that's not good for them either. heaven forbid, he might get injured.
Rory McDonald's giving a jab. Parable sign Josh. Sounds like Josh Schuster. Am I on the money there, Rory?
I think so.
They could do with him.
Yes.
Yeah. And
No,
you agree with that, Big T?
Manly by a plethora of points.
I agree. They'll be disappointed with that game against the Titans, where they scored. Well, it was 64 points scored in the game, and yeah, they'll want to make a statement back at home. Big crowd at Rookie on Friday, and I think Manly will get the job done well, and I think they'll make a statement and keep Parramatta to a very low score.
Jesse, I heard that Long Bay Jail team, rugby league team, are looking to sign Schuster on a 3-year deal. As long as he can have McDonald's and KFC takeaway, he'll go to them.
What's the deal? 80,000 a year or what?
No, mate, no.
Not
just
quite
not a
that?
deal. Play and win deal.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway, we'll move into our next game. So it's Saturday at 5:30 at Campbelltown, where we had Joy a couple of weeks ago. The Tigers will be taking on the Broncos. Now the Tigers will debut Solomon Alamalo, who's just come over from rugby union in New Zealand. Samuela Fainu will debut in the back row. No John Bateman. I'm not sure what the go is there. I haven't really seen what the go is. Oh, he's moved to lock. Sorry, my bad. Vanua Pole is back to the bench. For the Broncos, huge ins for the Broncos.
Yeah.
They welcome back Adam Reynolds and Payne Haas, while they lose Ezra Mam and Selwyn Cobbo. And Brendan Piakura also back for the Broncos.
Mariner too.
And Dean Mariner.
Yeah, Dean Mariner's back on the wing.
Fletcher Baker goes back to the bench. Tristan Saylor drops out of the team. Hasman, is it the Broncos, and by how many? Or can the Tigers finally get a win at Campbelltown?
I think this week we'll see the Tigers wiped out of premiership contention. I think the Broncos will put 50 on them.
Good call.
Yep.
Big T?
Yep, agreed. The Tigers have won 1 in 10 at Campbelltown in the last 10. I don't expect that to change any day soon except for a loss.
Yeah, the one's not the number that's going to be changing.
Yeah.
Rob, you agree?
I wonder who Daz is tipping out of that game, Broncos or the Tigers. Let us know, Daz, if you're watching.
Yeah, comment below, Daz.
I can't see
Tigers by plenty.
I agree with Hasman. I think the lady boy will probably score 2 tries as well too, the fullback. So I just can't see it. Paul Tigers, I think they're in for copping a hiding. Yeah. So.
I think that scar under his eye makes him more good looking. He's a pretty boy, that bloke, isn't he?
He puts foundation on.
Just makes him look that little bit tougher.
Are you more of the same, Donny? You think the Broncos by plenty, or can the Tigers cause an upset?
Well, before I do that, I'm getting a bit thirsty here, so I better do my Tuesday beer for this week. I was looking for a bit of an ANZAC themed one. I found Warhog, and I thought maybe I could use that, but then I saw this, and I thought, well, it's not ANZAC themed at all. But I think this is what the Dragons are going to do this weekend. We're going to chew bubblegum and kick ass. So I thought I'll give that a crack and see how it goes. Well, I don't think that's actually a beer. It's a sour. It's a bubblegum sour. So, yeah, I don't think too many people would like that one, but I like it. I think it's pretty good. It brings back some memories of being a kid. You chuck the old Hubba Bubba in your mouth and the great bubble gum. So very, very good. Enjoy that one. By Brucha Libre. Might be hard to find over in the eastern states, but I don't know that too many people will be looking for it.
If anyone who wants one, Donnie will send you one in the mail.
$11 postage.
Yeah, maybe a bit more than that.
I think so.
But I actually don't think this is going to be the blowout that everyone is expecting. The Broncos seem to have a different bloody team every week. You can't have as many changes as they have every single week and get that continuity. I think it's going to take a toll on them at some point. And travelling down to Campbelltown, I know that the Tigers don't have a great record there. I think Brisbane probably get it done, but I don't think they win by much. Again, Ezra Mam and Selwyn Cobbo out, and they've got another brand new halves combination. It's there's a few players out along with the players that are coming back in. The list of players that are changing around for the Bronx is much bigger than for most other teams, and it seems to be that way every week. I think that's I think that'll take a bit of a toll. It'll be Payne Haas's first game back. Expect him to be a little bit underdone. Adam Reynolds is obviously a key player coming back in as well, but is he 100% either? So I think there's certainly some question marks for me over the Bronx. I'll still be tipping them, but I don't think it's going to be by as big a margin as some of the others on the panel.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it unanimous. I think the Broncos, they looked red hot the other night against the Raiders. I know the Raiders lost Fogarty, but they still looked white hot. And I think they'll come down at Campbell and do something similar against the Tigers. But I think the Tigers will show some fight in them for a little while, but the Broncos will just show their class and run away with it. And I think they may take Adam Reynolds off 20 minutes early, but the Broncos will have it won by then. 7:30 Saturday is in Townsville. Cowboys coming off that disappointing loss against the Sharkies. Griffin Name's gone into the run-on side. Tamalolo's been benched. And Jack Gajewski's out of the side. While for the Panthers, Taylor May returns and also Nathan Cleary. That is a huge in for the Panthers. And, well, that's all the changes for the Panthers. Can anyone see the Cowboys winning this one, or will the Panthers prowl on?
Well, you put up that sort of performance against the Sharks, you're not beating the Panthers. It's pretty much that simple.
No, it would be funny though if the Panthers got beat with Nathan Cleary coming back though. That would be funny. But but I think Panthers. Again,
It'd be funny if it happened, but I don't think it will.
If you didn't go,
there's something wrong with all Queensland as well too. You've seen the Sharks game. I don't know whether it was one of the last tries or whatever. But the Sharks scored, and the players are barely even running back to even try to stop the Sharks player from scoring. And they were so slow to get back to the in goals. There was just no. It's like they're giving up. You know what I mean?
Like us last year.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like us last year, 100%. So maybe something going on over.
I think that's another unanimous one, isn't it?
I think so too. I think the Panthers, it could be Panthers by how many? They could put 40 or 50 on.
On the devil's advocate side of things, the Cowboys have won the last 2 games against the Panthers in North Queensland. So that the Panthers, I don't know, maybe they have a bit of trouble travelling up there, but in both those 2 games, Nathan Cleary didn't play.
Yeah. One was when they rested their whole side on the eve of the semi-finals, and last year was during the Origin period. So they're the reasons why.
But look, on paper, you don't see those reasons, and the Cowboys beat the Panthers both times up in Townsville.
Yeah, exactly. Panthers don't like travelling north.
It's like my mate still claims the Tigers win over the Panthers a couple of years ago during Origin, but the Tigers had a win over the Panthers, and he still claims that now. We beat the Panthers.
Wasn't it 66-0 or something like that? Or didn't they flog the Panthers or something?
Something.
Yeah, some big win.
It was a big win.
You tipping the Panthers though, Donnie?
Yeah. That's got Nathan, a little bloke called Nathan Cleary coming back into their team. He makes a bit of a difference, and the Cowboys haven't been that impressive. You've got to go the Panthers.
Yep. So Sunday 2 p.m. The Dolphins taking on the Knights. So Trey Fuller keeps his spot at fullback. He was impressive. His first game at fullback.
He was.
And Kurt Donahue returns onto the bench as the utility, with Sean O'Sullivan dropping out. For the Knights, David Armstrong will be giving the crack at fullback for Newcastle, coming in for the injured Kalen Ponga. Dan Gagai is back. He's the new captain. And Jacob Saifidi will start the game. Jack Hetherington been suspended for the tunnel stash with Reid Marnie. And Daniel Saifidi goes back to the bench as well. Still no Tyson Frizzell. Adam O'Brien did hint he could be available, but not named.
Well, he did go there to win the comp, didn't he?
I don't think it's going to happen this year. I'll start with you, Hasman. What do you reckon, Dolphins or the Knights? Will the Finns keep flying at home?
No Ponga, no chance. I think the Knights will struggle big time without him, and I think Dolphins would probably win anyway. But without Ponga, I don't think the Knights can touch him.
Rob, you agree with that? The Dolphins impressive against the
Dolphins
the Eagles at home,
and then the coach as well too, the Wayne Bennett factor as well.
Yep, and you mentioned that Wayne Bennett wasn't even in Darwin last week. He had illness himself, so to get the job down without him, pretty impressive.
100%.
So you're more of the same, Big T? Dolphins at home?
Oh yeah,
Fins up.
They were impressive last week against the rudderless Parramatta side. And they're missing a few players as well. They got a couple of players out injured too, so their depth's starting to come through now. Dolphins by 1 million. No Ponga, no Knights, like what Hasman said.
Are you making it unanimous, Donny? The Dolphins at home?
Mate, the only thing I'd say is what's the weather forecast? Because if there's a monsoon forecast for Suncorp, that might be the only time the Knights have looked halfway impressive was in horrible conditions against us. So they might be just dead set mud runners. If the sun shines at all, the Dolphins by plenty. Everyone's talking about how bad Parramatta were last week, and I think that's a little disrespectful to the Dolphins because they just keep impressing me. They keep playing good footy, and I think they'll wipe the floor with the Knights. The Knights look a bit of a rabble, and it gets even harder. I think they can win without Kalen Ponga. I don't think they're a one-man team by any stretch. I think they've got some good players, but I look at their good players, and none of them are playing well. So I think they're in a bit of trouble in this game.
Yep, I'm more of the same. I agree. I think the Dolphins looked good last week, and they'll continue to build on that and continue their strong start to the year, and they'll win by plenty. They're looking very good at the moment. And as for you, Donny, just check the forecast in Brisbane on Sunday. A slight chance of showers, but no torrential rain. It's going to be a nice day in Brisbane. And to wrap up the round, Sunday we head to the nation's capital. It's the Raiders and the Sharks. So the Raiders, as we touched on at the start of the show, Jamal Fogarty out for 3 months with a torn bicep. KO Weeks will come in for his Raiders debut in the halves, and Simi Sasangi into the back row with Artem Mariota onto the bench. For the Sharks, Daniel Atkinson comes in at 5'8" for his first starting game in the NRL. He replaces the stood down Braden Trindle. And a shout out to Dal Fanukin on a wonderful career as well. He unfortunately had to medically retire today. So, well done, a great career, Dal. Well done to you. The Sharks are pretty much unchanged other than Trindle. Sione Katoa is back on the wing for Sam Stokes, who got a try on debut last Sunday. Sharks, Donny?
No, mate, I'm going to go the Raiders. I'm going to go the Raiders in an upset in this one. I think that Trindle thing might unsettle him a little bit. The retirement of Dale Finucane, again, another distraction for the Sharks. It's never easy to head to Canberra. I know the Raiders were terrible last week, but they've got a lot of good, young, exciting players. That with that comes inconsistency. They'll be they'll be horrible one week and brilliant the next. I think they can cause an upset here.
Interesting call, but okay. Rob, are you agreeing with Donny, or you think the Sharks can get the chocolates in the nation's capital?
I think up, unfortunately, arseholes. But I think they'll win. I don't think they'll win convincingly, like what Donny's saying. I think Canberra will be up for it, but I think Sharks will get the chocolates.
You agree with that, Hasman?
Yeah, I agree with 100%. I don't think it's going to be a massive score, but I don't think Canberra are quite up to it. They got absolutely mauled by Brisbane last week, and Cronulla aren't that sort of dissimilar in sort of in attacking ability. So I just can't see Canberra getting it done, even if it is at home.
You echo that, Big T, or are you going to make it 50-50?
I'm a bit torn with it in this game. You've got Gula and Wolford and Nick Chotrick on the extended bench. I expect a couple of them to come into the side. Fogarty out's a big loss for the Raiders. But there is a kid playing, Keogh Weeks. He was supposed to start at 5'8", but then what was the other kid's name that came in?
Ethan Strange.
Strange came in ahead of him, so hopefully him and Strange could combine pretty well. But I think the Sharks. I think the Sharks will just pip them. Won't be much in it.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
By the time they play, I might swing the other way, but I'm a bit of a swinger sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. The Sharks still have a little bit more settled side. They've still got Nico Hines steering around the park.
Take Jesse out, mate.
I should, yeah.
Get Chucky Keith in the bowl, mate.
Jamal Fogarty is a big loss for the Raiders. He's been one of the top halfbacks this year. I think Daniel Atkinson won't have as much pressure on him, but K.O. Weeks will have it on him. And I think the Sharks will get it done in a tight one. I think it won't be a blowout like the last time they made just a month ago, actually. Second time they've met this year. But we'll go to the biggest game of the round, the game on Thursday afternoon at Allianz Stadium. It is the Dragons against the Sydney Roosters. So, Big T, you will get the first crack.
Oh, you're beauty!
And throw in your Ashton Collier medal. Who will get the Spirit of ANZAC medal as well?
Okay. I go the Spirit of ANZAC medal first. I'll go Sloan to win the Spirit of ANZAC medal. I think he'll have an absolute blinder. Coming up against Tedesco, but they don't actually come up against each other. But hopefully Sloan will win that medal. I'm going to go Christian Tupelo to score his first try. He'll score our first try for the game. Kyle Flanagan, I reckon he'll score anytime. And as again, I'm confident every week. And I think we will do them. I think we'll do them by 10.
You agree with that, Hasman? Are we going to make it a win on Anzac Day once more? Make it our 13th win on the big day.
Yes. I reckon we'll do them by, I'm going to say, 8 to 12.
10.
No, I reckon Lomax will do the one thing he didn't do last week and kick a 1-point field goal. So I'm going to go, say, 9 to 6 or something. Was it? Actually, that's what I was going to sort of ask around. Has anyone, since they brought in this 2-point field goal, has anyone scored a try, conversion, penalty goal, 2-point field goal, and 1-point field goal in the same
Mitchell
game?
Moses.
Wow.
Oh, no shit.
Mitchell Moses did it.
When?
I think it was last year sometime. I can't remember exactly when. But I'll do some digging and find out and hopefully have it for the next show.
Alrighty. As far as try scorers, Bent Hart anytime. I reckon Lomax will get first. What was the other thing?
Who will get the
Medal.
Spirit of Anzac medal? Who will be the best player on the
Spirit
day?
of Anzac medal. I'm going to have a bet each way here. I'm going to say Lomax or Hunt.
Yep.
Leaning towards Hunt, but I reckon Lomax is in with a shot if he plays like he did last week.
Yep. Donnie, you think we can get the chocolates done on Anzac Day?
Absolutely, mate. We're going to chew bubble gum and kick ass. I've already told you that. We've got this covered. I think the Dragons will win by 18. I think Lomax will get the man of the match on the day. I think Dom Young will score a try for the Roosters at some point. But I've got Harmay Sele to crash over from close range for the first try of the match. Christian Tuipulotu will score at some stage. You'll get one back over Dom Young pretty late by running straight over the top of him to score. Dragons win pretty comfortably.
Yep. You're making it unanimous, Rob. All the Dragons.
I think the Dragons will win well. I really can't even put a score on it. I think they could run away with it, to be honest with you. I think there's problems with the Roosters. I think the Dragons will be up for it. And I reckon that Hargraves will end up with 10 minutes in the bin. He'll do something silly. He'll headbutt or he'll do something which will even make it better for us, score some more points. And I'm backing Rav to maybe get a try. And either Sloan or Lomax anytime. And wait for it, Ben Hunt to win the medal. So
did you say Rav or the ref is going to score a try?
Rav. Coconut boy. Yeah, Rav. Rav to get over in this game. I think he might push over, I think, to barge over, get over. I think he's got the sniff of it now. He scored 21 last year, and now he's got 1 this year. So I don't think he wants to miss the party again. I think he'd be trying every game to score a try. So
I reckon Hasman's favourite referee might score.
Adam G.
By Jingos, by Crikes.
I thought Casey Badger was his favourite referee. Anyway, my prediction, I think the Dragons will get the job done. I think we'll win by 10.
By G, go by Crikey.
There he is.
I'm going to go Tyrell Sloan. He got a double in last year's game. I think he'll get one in this game as well. I think Zach Lomax will be an anytime try scorer. And they say things happen in threes. Last 2 weeks, Lomax has got 6 points in the Dally M's. I think he'll do it again, and he will pick up the Ashton Collier Spirit of the Anzac medal. And he'll have another big game. And he'll out-jump Daniel Tupou as well. So that's where we'll sign off for tonight. Thank you to our major sponsor of the show, Complete Warehouse Solutions. Go see Jeff and the team at 6 Commerce Drive at Lake Illawarra. Go give them a shout, and I'll hand over to Donnie to send us out and sign us off.
Well, mate, you're the host today, mate. This
is your thing, though.
It's not my fault. When you're the host, you've got to do the fire up. You've got to find the fire in your belly. It's Anzac Day, mate.
Rip the shirt off, Jesse. Fire up.
Absolutely. You've got to be ready on Anzac Day.
Flex it, buddy.
Fans, fire up.
Yeah, nice.
Fired up, all right.
I give people a tip. Practice that.
Yeah, Jess, that was good, mate.
Just sit back in you. Yes! Coco is at Pell's heart. She wears it on her sleeve. As much tells tales of dragons, wins, and tuners will do. Tony and the MP crew will do their very best. Hitting up public and on our breast with a red on our chest. The Mad Dragon podcast is a sheep of frog ridery. Navigating ranks down rabbit holes in the land of the big red bees. And so I peddle speak the tales of friendship is our dream. The Mad Dragon podcast, funded by our team.
Good night, everybody.
Red V's a part of me.